This is the worst reading month I've had this year so far. And honestly, the worst reading month that I've had in, like, I want to say years, honestly. I was so slumpy this month, but let's break everything down today. Oh, well, you can already see those, whatever. I didn't turn on my light either. Hold on. Let's see. Does that make any difference? I don't know. You tell me. So I think I've read 15 books so far this month. I read a lot of novellas, but I read some like really thick books. So I kind of need to like break it up a little bit. I'm in the middle of a few other things. I will probably finish one of them tonight or tomorrow. So I'll still probably round out May with 16 books total, which is like what I'm trying to target every month. Normally for these, if this is your first if this is your first monthly wrap-up video from me, normally I have like all the names down from all these books that I read and everything. I did not go back and do that and prep for this. I am exhausted this weekend. So we're just gonna chat casually about them. If I remember their names, great. If I don't, it'll be hero and heroine here on out. So let's jump in. Well, the first book I read this month was a novella, and that is Dirty Dom by Sarah Bailey. So I am currently reading the like Four Horsemen series by her. As you guys know, I'm extremely frustrated by that series, but the smut in it is so good, and that's what's like keeping me going with it. So I decided to give this novella a go just to like kick off the month. And honestly, I gave it 3 stars. It was like, I think I gave it 2.5 rounded up to 3. Our heroine, she has like certain things that she wants to like act out with someone, and she's looking to find someone to like give that to her more in like the BDSM style. And she finds this dude on this website, our hero, and they start talking, and then they agree to have like a one night 24-hour kind of deal together where they meet up, they act out all this stuff, and then they go their separate ways. It sounds fun, right? It sounds like it's gonna be a good time, but let me tell you, the spice was like honestly very flat in this for me. They have all these things that they're talking about doing, and then like it's so insta love. In the second like they start it, like they don't even get through like one whole session together before they're like throwing all of the rules out the window and just like forgetting about everything that they talked about. I don't know, it was very boring to me. I didn't care about the plot, didn't care about the characters. So yeah, 2.5 rounded up to 3 for this one. Oh no, I actually did, I must have given it 2 because it has the 2 color in here, but I think I rounded it up to 3 on Goodreads, maybe? I don't know. Second, I read another novella, and again, it was kind of a flop for me. I think I also gave this one 2.5 stars, and that was Made for Her by Honey Chanel. There is another one by this author that I'm definitely going to check out. This one was fine. It's only like 40 pages. It's super quick. It's about our heroine, one of our heroines, and she is a maid for this really wealthy couple, and she is having an affair with the woman who like employs her. So it's like a boss, employee, FF, and then there's like an FFF scene. Like the spice in this one was good. It's like really like no plot whatsoever, but I'm perfectly fine with that. There was cheating in this. That didn't bother me. I was like, get out of here, husband, let the women have their fun. Yeah, it was fine. But again, I know I see this frequently, people being like, you can't rate novellas on the same scale as you rate novels. And I totally agree with that. I think you should not be like criticizing a novella for not having like enough content or stuff in it, which I try to like not do here. But my ratings and like how I rate things and like on Goodreads, I rate them purely for my enjoyment. Like I don't rate them on like their literary value whatsoever. I only care if I'm having a fun time. I definitely will read more from this author though moving forward, because some of her other ones interested me. Then I read, I mean this video is already up on my channel, so you guys already know, I finished the Addicted / Calloway Sisters series. So I didn't read these all back to back, but let's just touch on them all together. So I read Thrive this month, which is book 5, like overall you read, or no, six, because the Addicted / Calloway Sisters series is, they're like interconnected series, even though they're kind of like 2 separate. There's a reading guide in the front of the book, so if you ever get confused, you can just reference this. I loved this. I gave it 5 stars. You can see my full review in that vlog. Addicted After All. This one is book 7 / book 5 in the Addicted series. I loved this. It was a great conclusion to Lily and Lo's story, and I cried a lot of tears in this one. Now, this one is my favorite out of the 3 that I read, or out of the 5 that I read this month, this is Fuel the Fire. So this is book 8/book 3 in the Kadlec Sisters series. This is Rose and Connor's second book, Rose and Connor Supremacy, on this channel here. I love that couple. Like, oh, like, y'all know how much I love Rhea and Kova. I love Connor and Rose, like, just a tiny bit less than Rhea and Kova because they can't be topped, but, like, I love them that much, if that gives you any sort of indication. Long Way Down, I gave this one 5 stars. This is on the lower end of 5 stars. This is Reich and Daisy's second book, book 9 overall, but book 4 in the Kadlec Sisters series. This one, it's a long book and it kind of felt long at certain points. Yeah, I did like it, but overall in the series towards the bottom of my rankings. And then the epilogue novel, Some Kind of Perfect, I also gave this 5 stars. I loved this series just like as a whole, and it's what sent me into a slump. This one has all 6 POVs in here. I loved that. I don't love epilogues. Sometimes like I will skip them. I don't need to see couples being happy. So to have 700 pages of them just being happy and living their lives did at some times drag a bit for me, but I still am glad that we got like the happy times with these characters. Okay, and then I read Breaking Mr. Kane by Shanora Williams. This is the second book in, is it like the Kane series? The first one is Wanting Mr. Kane. I read that one the other month. So this is book 2 in it. It's a continuation, so you do have to read the first one or to read this one. So obviously the first one, it's a dad's best friend, age gap, forbidden romance. And the first one left off with a cliffhanger, and so I can't really say too much about this one plot-wise because it is a continuation, but I'll just say that Candy and Quentin do have to spend some time apart in this one, which I didn't love as much. I totally understand why we needed it for the story for them to be apart, but I was kind of like, please just like come back together. But it was still good. I gave this one 4 stars, and I'm currently reading the 3rd book right now, and I am really enjoying this series as a whole. And again, this one ended on like a huge cliffhanger. I don't really know if I love the direction that we're potentially going, but I'm sticking through it. We'll see how it all wraps out. And next I finished another duet. I'm trying to like be better about finishing series that I start. So I finished their Obsession duet by B. Page. So this one is The Masks and the Dancer. The first one is The Dancer and the Masks, and another thick, chunky boy. So I gave this one 3.5 rounded up to 4 stars. So this one, again, it follows right after the first book. So I, again, can't say anything really too much plot-wise about this one. But if you're interested in the duet, it is a captor-captive, reverse harem, dark, scarred hero, scarred heroine, damaged heroes, kind of Phantom of the Opera-esque kind of. It's definitely a fun time. And the first book ended up on a cliffhanger. This one picks up immediately right where the first one ended, which was great. I loved being like immediately back into the action. The plot did get a little messy in this one. There are certain elements about like fate. Certain things are because of fate, and like you can't ignore your fate. I don't know. Certain things that almost gave it like a bit of like a magical quality to it, but like not really. It was fine. I definitely loved the character growth in this that we go through with each of the guys. There are 3 guys with our heroine Christy, Jacob, Leon, and Conrad, and they all had incredible character development. Love that. Christy also had great character development. But yeah, the plot did get a little messy. I'm definitely going to be reading more by B. Page. Christy's sister and her husband have a book that just came out called Tales We Win. I definitely want to read that. Okay, next. All of my historical romance friends. I don't know if any of you have read this or if I've just missed it, but did y'all know that Sierra Simone has a historical romance? And that is The Awakening of Ivy Leopold. So this is the first book. I did already download. I feel like I'm far away when I recline. Let's like scooch that a little. Oh, is that better? Oh, my back is hurting and I want to like slouch a little bit. Is that better? I think it might be tilted. Oop, I need to like hold still now so that I don't bump it. The Awakening of Ivy Leopold. So this is the first book in a season. I'm pretty sure there's 3 books. This one follows Ivy and her parents, or was it her brother? Like her parents were already dead and like it was maybe just her and her brother left. And obviously it's like historical. Is it like in the 1800s maybe? And then when her brother passes away, she only has a very distant cousin, Violet, that that she can kind of go and live with, because obviously she can't like live on her own, but her cousin dies, so she goes to go live with her cousin's husband, which, what is his name? I can't remember his name, but our hero. So anyways, if that makes sense, so it's like her cousin-in-law, but her cousin is passed, so her cousin isn't there, so it's only our hero at this like mansion, this estate, like he's pretty well off. But there are some rumors about how her cousin died and maybe her husband's involvement in that, and also our hero was married before the cousin Violet. He had a first wife, Violet was the second, and his first wife also died under maybe suspicious circumstances. So there's kind of like that mystery going around. This was really fun. So anyways, Ivy goes to go and live with him, and you know, they like each other. This was really good. I mean, I ended up giving it 3.5 stars. I rounded it down to 3. I did really enjoy it. Was it my favorite thing I've ever read? No, but I did really like it. Sierra Simone's writing is just very like smart and clear, but also poetic. I love the way that she writes, and also the steam in this was great. The hero has some fun friends that come around. Anyways, I'll be definitely continuing on with the series. Next, I read Eyes on Me by Sarah Kate. So this is the second book in the Salacious Players Club series. So this one follows, geez, now I can't remember either of their names. So our hero in this one you do see in the first book, because it's like a companion following the different owners of the Salacious Players Club. This one is a step-sibling age gap romance. So our heroine is she 22 maybe? And she is a cam girl. And our hero in this one accidentally stumbles upon her while she's working online, stumbles upon her online while she is working, and you know, they start chatting back and forth through this app, but he knows who she is, but she does not know that she is talking to her stepbrother, and she's always had a crush on him. It's great, it's hot, it's forbidden, it's taboo, all the things I loved. I did give it 4 stars. I still think I liked Praise a little bit more. This one at certain parts it did just get like a little slow for me. Overall, I loved it, and I love that our hero grovels in this. When he fucks up, he does grovel, and at the end, the way that he lets her make it up to him. When the scene started going there, I was like, if she does not do this to him, I'm gonna have a chat with Sarah Kate. And then she did it, and we were blessed. We were truly blessed with that final scene at the club. Okay, then we got a string of, again, some 3 stars. Although this one, okay, Mafia Mistress by Mila Finelli. This one, I truly don't think it was the book's fault. I do think it was like my slumpish mood, that where I was just like, I just am not loving anything that I'm picking up right now. So this one is a mafia romance, and it's a fiance's dad, arranged marriage, mafia obviously, and like kind of kept her captive kind of deal. So our heroine in this one is living over, is she in Canada actually? Her dad is involved in the mafia, and her mother is dead, and she is the oldest of her siblings, and her dad arranges a marriage with Fausto. How do you say his name? Fausto, I think. Fausto is the mafia boss over in Italy, I think. Right? And his son, he needs to find a wife for his son, so that is who they arrange to marry their children together to like settle some stuff. You know how the mafia goes. So they're in arranged marriage, and she is taken on a private jet over to Italy, and very much against her will. She does not want this marriage. She wants to go to college. She wants to just have like a normal life, and then it's all really stripped away from her. But then when she gets over to Italy, she like develops a nice bond with the son. They become friends, but she realizes that like they will never have like a like loving marriage together. Like they're good as friends, but nothing more. While her attraction for Fausto is developing, and Fausto is also really into her. This book was good. The guy's an absolute dick. Like our hero's a real asshole in this one, which really doesn't bother me that much. It was really slow for me in the beginning, and then even towards the end of it, like Fausto was just being like a mega asshole, where I was like, dude, I can't deal with you right now. I don't know. I will definitely read the second book in a duet. It leaves off on a cliffhanger. Just right now, my mood is so touch and go right now with reading that I don't want to force myself to read it, but it was good. It just isn't like obviously my favorite mafia book I've ever read. This one was when I was like desperate to bump this slump out of the way. I saw this on an Instagram Reels of someone talking about how this is like one of the most wild books they've ever read. and it's a novella, and that is Dirt by Dea Daniels. This is the first book in a duet. I already downloaded the second. I will be reading it. So this one is about our heroine. She is a maid at this hotel. I don't even know where are they in Monaco, actually, I think, which, like, I've always wanted to go to Monaco. And she is treated like dirt by everyone around her, by the hotel manager, by the guests. They just kind of think that they can do whatever they want to her. And we're in her POV for most of the time. We do get our hero's POV later on. But, like, as these things are happening, and it's really hard to tell, like, what game she's playing. Like, is she okay with this? Like, obviously not, but, like, also, like, you just don't really know her motivations. You know that she needs this job, so she kind of sucks it up with a lot of these things. But then our hero enters, and they immediately kind of hit her off. It's fucking wild. And there's a twist at the end that I was like, okay, so this is what we're getting at, which has me, like, very anxious to read book 2. It's not, it says in the description, this is not a romance. And I would say so far it is not a romance. I think the second book takes, like, a pretty big turn and turns it into more of a romance, but this one is not. It is just, like, a wild time, and it was, like, kind of so wild in something that I haven't read, like, ever, that it did kind of help me a little bit, like, feel like, okay, we're making some movement on this slump. So yeah. Next, I read The Dark One by Nikki St. Crow. I gave this one 3.5 stars. I rounded up to 4 on Goodreads because, again, I do think that it had more to do with my slump than the book itself. So this is the second book in the Lost Boys series, I think. This one is a continuation, so you do have to read book 1 before you read this one. But it's dark Peter Pan reverse harem retelling, super spicy, a fun time. This one picks up immediately where the first one leaves off, so obviously I can't say anything plot-wise. It did get a little bit slow for me at the beginning. I was kind of like, what are we doing? Where are we heading towards? I guess I didn't really know what we were doing, but I did like that we got some more POVs. We got the inclusion of Hook in this one, Hook and Smee. We got a bit of a look in them on, like, the island. We got more of Cherry, which in the first book we see a little bit of Cherry. We got some more in her POV. Obviously a lot with the twins, Peter Pan and Vane, with Winnie, who is, like, Winnie Darling. I'm definitely ready for the third one. I'm very excited. I saw some people saying that these could have all probably been, like, smushed into one book. I'm glad that it's not, honestly, because you know what? I'd rather have it count for 3 reads towards my final reading goal than just one massive book. So thank you, Nikki St. Crow. Thank you for that. Lastly, that I read this month, I wanted to switch it up again because I was, like, feeling so slumpy. I'm like, let's try switching it up a bit. And I was like, let me ask on my Instagram for some historicals that are on KU. And I got this recommendation a few times, which is My Dirty Duke by Joanna Shoup. And so this one, our heroine is, it's like her first season debuting, and she's kind of like a wallflower. She doesn't really, like, engage with a lot of people and, like, suitors, but one person does have her eye, and that is her father's best friend. And her father's best friend is widowed. He has a son, but we, like, don't really see the son at all. But there is, like, rumors that, like, he killed his first wife, and he's just having his fun. He's just sleeping with women, you know, doing whatever he pleases as a single man, as he can do. She makes her interest known to him, and he tries to deny her, but you know how that goes. It doesn't work. Because it was good. Like, I don't know. I don't really have any complaints about it, but I don't really have anything to, like, rave about either. Nothing I read this month, like, I absolutely, like, loved besides the Addicted series. And that is what put me into this slump. So anyways, that is it for my May reads. Probably my worst wrap up I've ever done. But it is what it is today, guys. Oh, I have, like, something stuck in my throat. I will have my June TBR video up in just a couple of days, and then I have an exciting announcement video coming over the weekend. That is it for today, and I will see you when I see you.